Happy Monday, BookTube. It's Peg. I am back at the History Shelf, back in my usual location. Here to show you some of the many new books that have arrived in the mail, I'd say over the past couple of weeks. There's some in here I was not expecting and I was really excited for. And then I have some books that I purchased myself, either new or used. So I think I'll stick those in at the end. But I wanted to make a video just to try to keep up on the stuff that comes in, so you can see what's coming out history-wise or fiction-wise, is mystery kind of thriller stuff that I like to read that I talk about here on the channel too. Let's get started, shall we? Let's see. That's one of the ones I bought. Okay. All right. Well, this came from St. Martin's Press, and I was really excited to get it. This is a new book by Keith Lowe, and this is Prisoners of History. What monuments to World War II tell us about our history and ourselves. As you can see, it's a great cover. Keith Lowe has written Savage Continent, and I think the follow-up to that one as well. I follow his work. His most recent book was The Fear and the Freedom, How the Second World War Changed Us. So this looks like an expansion on that, just discussing different monuments, and what we can glean from these monuments, and what stories we tell about ourselves through these pieces of art. And it goes all over. We've got Russia, the Motherland Calls in Volgograd. So this looks fascinating. I mean, I was just blown away when I got it. Very, very excited to see this. He has it set up in different chapters of heroes, martyrs, monsters, apocalypse, rebirth. So it takes a look at all the monuments, not just in America, even though you get that from the cover, but it goes all over. It's international. As you can see here, he's showing the different locations where major World War II monuments were put. So. Prisoners of History. I'd like to start reading this soon. I need to get my schedule going for 2021, but I have some time coming off around Christmas, and I'd like to plug in some reads that I'm really excited for, so I think that's going to be one of them. Let's see. I'll save this for last. Okay. Let's see. So we got a couple of fiction in here, which I'm kind of excited for. Thrillers, espionage, and also like a mystery. But I'll save those for last. This book came in the mail. Now, it's a little bit out of my area of expertise. Mostly a history person here, but I've been trying to branch out into reading more about economics, and other press sent me a review copy of this new book called The Money Plot, A History of Currency's Power to Enchant, Control, and Manipulate by Frederick Kaufman. So I'll give you a brief synopsis of this. Frederick Kaufman tackles the complex history of money, beginning with the earliest myths and wrapping up with Wall Street's Byzantine present-day doings. Along the way, he exposes a set of allegorical plots, stock characters, and stereotypical metaphors that have long been linked with money and commercial culture, from Melanesian trading rituals to the dogma of medieval churchmen faced with global commerce, the rationales of mercantilism and colonial expansion, and the U.S. dollar's 1971 unpinning from gold. The Money Plot offers a tool to see through the haze of modern banking and finance, demonstrating that the standard reasons given for economic inequality, the neoliberal euros and yuan, contingent upon structures people have designed. It shines a light on the 1%'s efforts to contain a money culture that benefits them within boundaries that they themselves are increasingly setting. And Kaufman warns that if we cannot recognize what is going on, we run the risk of becoming pawns and shells ourselves, of becoming characters in someone else's plot, of becoming other people's money. So it seems like it's got a nice mixture of history in here as well. The Melanesian trading networks here. What is this? The Melanesian trading rituals. That sounds really interesting. That's I love stuff like that. So I think I will dip my toes into this and see what I can learn from The Money Plot by Frederick Kaufman. And this is from Other Press. Thank you, Other Press. All right. And the great folks at Naval Institute Press offered me a review copy. Some more World War II history, in a sense. This is a new book called Tribute to a Generation. Sorry for the glare. Hayden Williams in the Building of the World War II Memorial. So kind of like a theme going. Like two of these books were talking about memorials and monuments. So this could be a very nice companion to Prisoners of History by Keith Lowe. But this one's talking specifically about Hayden Williams. It says here, let me just read this to you real quick. Tribute to a Generation highlights the unappreciated yet pivotal role Ambassador F. Hayden Williams played in making the World War II Memorial in Washington what it is today. And if you've never been to Washington, or you have and you haven't seen that memorial, you should absolutely go. I got to see it several years ago, and it's terribly moving and extremely beautiful. Just a beautiful monument and memorial. Let's see. As a naval officer sent into Japan to repatriate Major Pappy Boyington and other POWs at the end of World War II, Williams became a rising star in the Eisenhower and Kennedy administrations. He worked on behalf of the CIA to start a trans-Pacific think tank, transforming it to a nonprofit leader in Asian affairs, and served as an ambassador appointed to negotiate the status of Micronesia. Williams saw the recognition of the greatest generation as a final mission in life, and leaned on a good friend, former Joint Chiefs Chairman Admiral William Crowe, to get an appointment to the American Battle Monuments Commission. Diplomat and taskmaster, Williams assembled a small, talented group to select the site, complete the design, and work with award-winning architect Friedrich St. Florian and sculptor Ray Kaski. He assembled luminaries including Senator Bob Dole, FedEx Chair Fred Smith, and actor Tom Hanks to overcome strong opposition to completing the memorial. And I wonder what strong opposition would be to a memorial like that, but I'm sure this book will go into that. And again, it's from Naval Institute Press. And I think they might be having a sale going on for the holiday season, like half off, but check out their site. It's awesome. Oh yeah, this is a book that I bought, but okay, well, I'll save the stuff again that I bought for last. But I was so thrilled to get this book. I had asked for it ages ago, and I never heard back from anybody. And it's been out for a little while, I think, probably early last year, 2019. So this is a 2019 book, but from the University of Chicago Press. I am thrilled to have it because I've been wanting to read more about this person and to learn more about this time. And this is King of the World, let me see, by Philip Mansell, The Life of Louis XIV. It's a beautiful, nice big chunkster of a book. Came out in 2019. Beautiful and set there. There he is. Sun King. Let's see. Louis XIV was a man in pursuit of glory. Not content to be the ruler of a world power, he wanted the power to rule the world. And for a time he came tantalizingly close. Philip Mansell's King of the World is the most comprehensive and up-to-date biography in English of this hypnotic, flawed figure who continues to captivate our imagination. This lively work takes Louis outside Versailles and shows the true extent of his global ambitions, which stretched from the banks of the Mississippi to the waters of the Mekong and beyond. We witness the importance of his alliance with the Ottoman Empire and his triumph in securing Spain for his descendants, his enmity with England, and his many conflicts with the rest of Europe, as well as in Africa, Asia, and the Americas. We also see the king's effect on the two great global diasporas of Huguenots and Jacobites and their influence on French policy, as he failed in his brutal attempts to stop Protestants from leaving France. At the same time, there is a completely new view of Louis's magnificent court and the fascinating cast of characters who plotted and prostrated themselves within it. This is a global biography of a global king whose interests and ambitions stretched far beyond France, but whose thirst for absolute power was thwarted by French laws and traditions. Through it all, we watch Louis XIV progressively turn from a dazzling young king to a belligerent tyrant who sets France on the path to 1789 and the Revolution. It is a convincing and compelling portrait of a man who, 300 years after his death, still epitomizes the ideal of the Grand Monarch, or Le Grand Monarque. So, King of the World. There we go. Got a weird glare going on there. So thank you, University of Chicago Press. I am very thrilled to have this and to review, and to read. Got to schedule this out. Keep that with this. All right. You know what? I was looking forward to sharing this with my viewers, especially those of you who are into military history and World War II. And many of you I know, and I've talked to a few of you on Instagram and Twitter, you're very much into like researching family history, or, you know, seeing who fought in the war, and just, you know, tracing your family tree and seeing, you know, finding out the stories of the family, of your family who were involved in World War II. Well, Casemate Publishing has a brand new book out, and this, I think, is also helpful for me. I need to contact my dad and get more information. I have some, my grandfathers on both sides were in the war. They were in the armed services. My one grandfather was in the Army Air Force, and I think my other grandfather was in just the Army. So, and he was an interpreter because he was German. He was born in Germany, but they immigrated to America when he was an infant. But he grew up in a household that spoke German, so he was used as a interpreter when they would try to round up, you know, if they had captured German soldiers. My grandfather was the one, you know, telling them in German to surrender or throw down your arms. So we got a lot of really awesome stories that I'm just trying to find out more. But anyway, this book could be very helpful for me and for others of you out there who want to research your service members' history in World War II. And this is Finding Your Father's War by Jonathan Gaughan. Subtitle is A Practical Guide to Researching and Understanding Service in the World War II, in the World War II U.S. Army. And this is the revised 3rd edition. So it's very helpful in giving you resources and telling you about the books and websites that can be helpful in your own search. It lays out, you know, it tells you how to read the different insignia, where points of deployment, the pre-war U.S. Army. It breaks things down into brigades, groups, and task forces. Obviously divisions. It talks to you just basic military stuff that you would not normally know if you haven't been in the military, which is like, you know, how is a rifle squad broken down? Who's the leader? You know, how many people? What's the terminology? Talks about the National Archives and textual records, next of kin and the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, finding records, Army publications. So this is just an absolute must-have if you're trying to do research. So again, this is from Casemate Publishing, Finding Your Father's War. If you're interested in the book, I can leave a link below to their website. So thank you, Casemate. I think I'll move on to, well, I have one more here that's nonfiction, and then I'm going to head back to Casemate for a fiction title. Okay, so this is from Bloomsbury Academic, and they have some great stuff. Well, you all know my love of Russian history, all things Russian history, especially around the time of the Russian Revolution and after. They put out a new series of books that are... Hi, Boomer! Okay, everybody's coming down. They're called Russian shorts, and they're not the shorts you wear in the summertime. They are short little books that give you a brief overview of certain topics in Russian history. They'll have a short book on the Soviet Gulag, Russian utopians, Russia and the Jewish question. But this one I wanted to review is Memory, Politics, and the Russian Civil War, Reds versus Whites. I don't have enough on the Civil War, and I really want to have that. I want to fill in that gap in my knowledge. And this is by Marlene Laruelle and Margarita Konyasheva. And again, you can see it says Russian shorts. These are new books. They're slim little volumes. Bloomsbury Academic. Let's see here. And let's see, minus the notes, the text is about 113 pages. So it's a very quick overview. Let's see. In examining the reemergence of Russia's white movement, memory politics, and the Russian Civil War gets to the heart of the rich 20th century memory debates going on in Putin's Russia today. The Kremlin has been giving preference to a Soviet-light nostalgia that denounces the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution, but celebrates the birth of a powerful Soviet Union able to bring the country to the forefront of the international scene after the victory in the Second World War. Yet in parallel, another historical narrative has gradually consolidated on the Russian public scene, one that favors the opposite camp, namely the white movement and the pro-Tsarist groups defeated in the early 1920s. This book offers the first comprehensive exploration of this white revenge, in quotes, looking at the different actors who promote a white and pro-Romanov rehabilitation agenda in the political, ideological, and cultural arenas, and what this historical agenda might mean for Russia, both today and tomorrow. That is extremely interesting to me, because I've always wondered what happened to the whites after they were defeated by the Reds in the Civil War. And to know that there is a resurgence, which I think came about when they found the bones of the Romanovs, the last Romanovs, Tsar Nicholas II and his family, consecrated them, buried them, and then they were sainted. So, and that it brought a resurgence, and along with the fact that after communism, religion came back into Russia, and people started to embrace their Orthodox Christianity again. And so I can see where that would feed into a resurgence of people looking finally back on Tsarists and Tsarist times and the Tsars. So I know it's only 113 pages, but I think this will be a really good place to start delving in. The notes themselves are very rich, and I think I've found a rabbit hole I can go down into, and I know that my friend Kara out there would probably love this book as well. So thank you to Bloomsbury Academic. I'm looking forward to reading and sharing my thoughts on it with you. Okay, where did this come from? Don't know. Okay, moving on to fiction. Two books I got. Back to Casemate. I have an advanced review copy of, Casemate is mostly, almost all, just straight history. They're branching out now into fiction, and they have procured a new writer who is starting a new series. And you know how I joke about the Brad Thor series and my thriller and espionage stuff that I like. So when I heard that they had a new series starting in this realm of like military espionage and spy stuff, I just love it. I said I would love to review this book. So it came out. It's an advanced review copy, but it looks like the hardback came out in last month. But this is. So I got the I got the softcover copy, but this is A Question of Time by James Stejskal, and this is the first volume in the Snake Eater Chronicles. Doesn't that sound cool? It says here, the CIA's most valuable asset in East Berlin has been compromised. Can a crack team of Special Forces operatives rescue him before he's captured? It's Berlin, 1979. When the CIA's most valuable spy is compromised, the agency realizes it does not have the capability to bring him to safety. If he cannot evade the dreaded East German security service, the result will be chaos and a cascade of failures throughout the agency's worldwide operations. Master Sergeant Kim Becker lived through the hell of Vietnam as a member of the Elite Studies and Operations Group. When he lost one of his best men in a pointless operation, he began to question his mission. Now he is serving with an even more secretive Army Special Forces unit based in Berlin on the front line of the Cold War. The CIA turns to Becker's team of unconventional warfare specialists to pull their asset out of the fire. Pull their asses out of the fire. Okay. Becker and his men must devise a plan to get him out by whatever means possible. Is it a race against time to prepare and execute the plan while alone in East Berlin? The agent must avoid his nemesis and play for time inside the hostile Secret Service headquarters he has betrayed. One question remains, is the man worth the risk? So, book 1 in the Snake Eater Chronicles, brand new writer, brand new book, James Stejskal, who is a former U.S. Army Special Forces soldier, so he knows of what he writes, basically, here. He served on special operations teams in many, quote, interesting places worldwide. He was then recruited by the CIA to serve again as a senior case officer before finally retiring from active service. He is now a military historian and the author of Special Forces Berlin and Masters of Mayhem. But this is his first work of fiction. And I am excited to dive into this guy right here. So, Question of Time. I love it. Thank you, Casemate. Oh, and from Hanover Square Press, which is actually underneath the, oh, was it Hanover? Or I think the publishing company might be, well, it's Hanover Square Press. I just discovered in my bookish wanderings and shopping, it's the latest book by this author, but as soon as I read about this book and this author, I went back and I found another book by him that I bought, which I'll show in another book haul video. But the author's name is John Banville, and I don't know if any of you out there have read John Banville, but I'm excited to start. This is his most recent book, Snow, a novel. He is a Booker Prize-winning author. I just love that cover. It's just so evocative. It's just, yeah, snow, but it looks like, ooh, and eerie. And this has just been, he's been blurbed all over the place. Let's see. The incomparable Booker Prize winner's next great crime novel, the story of a family whose secrets resurface when a parish priest is found murdered in their ancestral home. Detective Inspector St. John Strafford has been summoned to County Wexford to investigate a murder. A parish priest has been found dead in Ballyglass House, the family seat of the aristocratic, secretive Osborne family. The year is 1957, and the Catholic Church rules Ireland with an iron fist. Strafford, flinty, visibly Protestant, and determined to identify the murderer, faces obstruction at every turn, from the heavily accumulating snow to the culture of silence in the tight-knit community he begins to investigate. As he delves further, he learns the Osbornes are not at all what they seem, and when his own deputy goes missing, Strafford must work to unravel the ever-expanding mystery before the community's secrets, like the snowfall itself, threaten to obliterate everything. I can talk. You know what? 'Cause I think I need some water. Sparkling water. So, this sounded really great to me. I wanted to review it because I have been reviewing some fiction, historical fiction, including historical mystery and thriller kind of stuff. But this appeals to me from the aspect of obviously my partner's Irish, and I'm really just digging into a lot of different Irish reading and folklore. And she came from a Catholic family. I came from a Protestant family. So I just, and she's told me about the troubles over there and just how those, just the wars of these religion, that just it scarred so many people. So whenever I read something like that, I kind of want to understand it more, especially from set in a fiction tale. And I know that John Banville has written some other books with either Ireland as the setting or an Irish character. So that's why I decided to pick up a couple more of his books. But it sounds really good, and I love a good mystery, a good detective novel. So John Banville Snow, brand new book from Hanover Square Press. Okay, and then so those were some of the new books that came in from publishers. So, but then I bought some books. Big surprise. I don't know about you guys, but I love discovering a new publishing house. And I'm not sure how. Oh, I missed this. Okay, there's 2 books I missed showing, but I'm going to save them for the next Books in the Mail video from publishers. So I'll save that for next time. But anyway, I love discovering a new publishing house. And I'm not sure how I did, either on, maybe it was on Twitter. Hey, Boomer, what's going on, friend? You know what? I think he's hungry. So I'm just going to pause real quick to feed him some dinner. I'll be right back. Oh, hi. So he's crunching happily right now. Well, I discovered this Catholic publishing house. Now, I'm not Catholic, but I enjoy reading Catholic thinkers and writers. And, I'm Lutheran, or at least I was baptized Lutheran, and I've mostly attended Lutheran churches in my life. So, Lutherans, we're basically Catholic light. That's what I've heard us called in the past. We're, Catholic light. So I'm about as Catholic as you can get without being a Catholic, I guess. Even though Martin Luther was the one that broke from the Catholic Church, so you think we'd be so far apart, but really, in a proper Lutheran church, you have a lot of the same type of liturgy and stuff, but minus the kneeling and the transubstantiation, that kind of stuff. All right, so we're moving on, and so I discovered this publishing house called Cluny Media. That's C-L-U-N-Y. And they had a coupon, and I went to their site, and I'm like, how come I've never heard of this place before? They have fiction. They have, obviously, theological writings, spiritual writings from a vast array of time. Many of the major, Catholic thinkers of the last 2 centuries, at least. Oh, I know what it was. I was invited to go to an online webinar. Oh, so that's redundant. An online event for this book called Delightful People. And I was like, oh, I'd never heard of this book. It's by Stephen Schmalhofer. It's a small little volume, but it sounded like the online event sounded just delightful. I'm like, well, let me just check out this book, because maybe I could read it ahead of time and then be prepared for it. But then I went to the website, and I'm like, what is this place? And then I got a coupon code for first-time buyer, so I ended up buying 3 books from them, and one of them is Delightful People. It's by Cluny Media. I'll link them below in case any of you are interested in visiting their website. The 11 essays in this volume introduce a host of genuinely delightful people from the 19th and early 20th centuries. With abundant wit and a discerning eye for detail, Schmalhofer acquaints his readers with social luminaries as Mr. and Mrs. Winthrop Chandler, novelists Willa Cather, Frances Marion Crawford, and Henry James, artist John Lafarge, and art collector Egisto Fabry, as well as the irrepressible Father Cyril Sigourney Fay, whose many friends included Pope Benedict XV and F. Scott Fitzgerald. The subjects of these literary portraits are indeed delightful. Highly accomplished, cultured, and educated, one and all, they are also representative of a bygone, oft-overlooked age. As in life, when their presence was effervescence, even now on paper their fellowship remains a source of insightful enchantment. And I think at the time when I saw that email about this book and, going to the online event and listening to the author, I just was in a place where it's like I didn't want anything heavy anymore. I didn't want dark stuff. I really wanted to read about wonderful people. People that could just lift your spirits and inspire you. People that represent the best in human beings and in life. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to invest in reading something delightful. So, delightful people. Okay. And then 2 more books. They're just nice little paperback editions, and they usually run between like $16 and $20, depending on how much. Some of them are like $25, but if you get a discount for a first-time buy. Anyway, with my love of history, obviously, I stumbled across this writer whom I think I should know about, and I think I have seen his name in different writings. But this is Johann Huizinga. I think that's how you pronounce it. Johann Huizinga, The Waning of the Middle Ages. And this is just a beautiful copy. Beautiful cover. This is a bit more stout. And it says here, the Middle Ages, neither the best of times nor the worst of times. The Waning of the Middle Ages is cultural historian Johann Huizinga's fascinating examination of late medieval society. Huizinga paints a portrait of the conventions and customs of life in the 14th and 15th centuries as they reflect an autumnal waning, or the word he uses here is Herbstige, of the Middle Ages ideals. Considering theology and mysticism, politics and statesmanship, poetry and painting, marriage and love, Huizinga presents this period in France and the Netherlands as a death of an age born of intellectual and cultural exhaustion rather than the dawn of the Renaissance. So that's interesting. In this light, the end of the Middle Ages becomes apparent as the logical conclusion of the old rather than the genesis of the new. Oh, that's a really fascinating take on it. Let's see. Johann Huizinga, he lived from 1872 to 1945, was a Dutch historian, philosopher, and a founder of modern cultural history. He was professor of history at Groningen University from 1905 to 1915, and at Leiden University from 1915 to 1942, when the Nazis imprisoned him in a concentration camp. Huizinga lived out his life in exile. His works in English include Homo Ludens and Erasmus and the Age of Reformation. So I think I probably paid $15 after the discount for this. Very happy to have it. Bye Boomer. We'll catch you later. He's like, yeah, thanks for the food. And I was surprised that they had this book here, and maybe he was a Catholic. I don't know. I should know this because I have several of his books. But it's a book by Russell Kirk. And the title just intrigued me. Enemies of the Permanent Things. An introduction by Benjamin G. Walkard. Russell Kirk, as you know, is a great, I think, conservative philosopher or historian or just a major conservative thinker in his day. It says here, in the 1960s, Russell Kirk lectured and debated on many college campuses, ably defending traditional ideas against various liberal and radical adversaries. Enemies of the Permanent Things, first published in 1969, is the most significant extended meditation on culture and politics to come out of the rough and tumble of those years. As such, it is an invaluable document articulating the response of a critical witness to the radically anti-authoritarian turn taken by the intellectual elite in that destructive decade. Kirk defines the permanent things, a phrase borrowed from T.S. Eliot, as the unchanging norms of human nature, which I agree with, and I know a few of you out there, or at least one of you, does not agree. But I think that human nature is unchanging. In a healthy society, Kirk argues, individuals will attempt to live by these permanent standards of moral action, and the laws of the land will give support to citizens as they make that attempt. Focusing on literature as well as on politics, Kirk sets forth and defends those inalterable truths of human life. So, this was right up my alley, and I think I'm going to greatly enjoy this book. So, the third book I bought from Cluny Media is Russell Kirk, Enemies of the Permanent Things. Okay. Oh, and then, I was going to try to see if I could get my money back on this one. Adventures in buying used books online, people. Here's a great example. Most times things arrive as described. And it's funny. I bought this in the run up to, I got an email. It's a New York Review of Books Classics, right? You know that I collect these, and I have a bunch I've shown in previous videos. You know, way back in my video archive, right? So I haven't bought from them in a while. I think it's been about a year. And anyway, they were having a big flash sale the other day. I got an email and I was like, ah! So suffice it to say, there's going to be another New York Review of Books Classics book haul coming. My order has shipped. But in the meantime, while I was shopping online, I had this book added to my cart. It was like if you buy 4 or more, you get 40% off. So I was trying to hit the 4 mark, you know. But this one it's pretty thick, and so it was a more expensive book. So I was trying to keep the more, you know, cheaper ones in there. So I was like, well, let me see if I can find this book on, you know, Amazon or something used for cheaper than what I would get it on the site. So I took a chance, and it said that it was a used like new copy. But it was ex-library, and I should have known. Here's the thing. I'm able to take off the stickers fine. This one I would have to work at it a little bit more. Well, they had one on the front, and they had a picture of the book. They showed it. This is what it's going to look like, and there was a sticker with the bar on it, and I was like, that's fine. I mean, I did pull that part off. I still need to get this off. They did not tell me, though, that they stamped it 3 effing times. Okay? Look at that. They did not tell me in the picture. Of course, the picture's not showing that. Boom. Boom. And boom. So, I'm going to either send it back, or I'm just going to tell them that this is not as described. But anyway, I wanted this. And this is Letters from Russia by Astolphe de Custine. Astolphe, you know what? I am not good with French accents or whatever. So, Astolphe de Custine. Edited and with an introduction by Anka Mulstein. I'm better with the German, apparently, because I'm German. Anywho, Letters from Russia, because, you know, I love all things Russian, and this one is the Marquis de Custine's record of his trip to Russia in 1839. And it's a brilliantly perceptive, even prophetic account of one of the world's most fascinating and troubled countries. It is also a wonderful piece of travel writing. Custine, who met with people in all walks of life, including the Tsar himself, offers vivid descriptions of St. Petersburg and Moscow, of life at court and on the street, and of the impoverished Russian countryside. But together with a wealth of sharply delineated incident and detail, Custine's great work also presents an indelible picture, roundly denounced by both Tsarist and communist regimes, of a country crushed by despotism and, quote, intoxicated with slavery, end quote. Letters from Russia, here published in a new edition prepared by Anka Mulstein, the author of the Goncourt Prize-winning biography of Custine. Ooh, I might have to look into that. Okay, all right. This stands with Tocqueville's Democracy in America as a profound and passionate encounter with historical forces that are still very much at work in the world today. So, crappy edition, but you know what? This could be my reading copy, and maybe down the road, and I'll get a clean copy, you know. But I have more New York Review of Book Classics coming to add to my collection. I was looking forward to adding this one, and I'm going to read it. This might be the one I just kind of throw in my you know, travel bag, or not that I'm traveling anywhere right now, but you know what I mean. The one I kind of just take with me everywhere and kind of gets beat up a little. And I'll get a cleaner copy later to go into the collection. So I bought that one used. And the last one, well, you know, and I've got more down here that I bought, but I'm saving it for another video. This book I had in my Amazon cart for a while. I was waiting for the right time. I was just waiting for the price to drop. And then I saw it was dropping and dropping and dropping. And it finally hit a price where it was well over 50% off, hardcover, brand new. And I was like, okay, it's time to get it. This is a book I'd seen on other channels, and it belongs with my studies of Nazi Germany and stuff like that. So this is Hitler's True Believers, How Ordinary People Became Nazis by Robert Galately. That's by Oxford. So I purchased this one, and I think I don't need to read it to you. The title tells you itself. Just in light of certain things and events, I want to know. It's like group psychology as well, like the crowd and the mob, and how did people en masse, just how ordinary people can become Nazis. So I think it's a pertinent study. So I picked that one up as well. Okay, so that's one stack. I have another one that was a book outlet haul up, and a few others that I picked up, paperbacks of things that I wanted to do some further research on from books I had finished reading. That will be coming shortly. Let's see, if you want to stick around for life updates, please stick around. If not, if you were just here for the books, I'll say goodbye to you guys now. Thanks for hanging out, thanks for watching and liking and subscribing. I'm almost at, where am I at with my subscriptions? I don't know, I feel bad. I've kind of, I've just been really busy with work and life, and trying to get the house in order, looking to move and stuff like that. So I haven't been making a lot of, as many videos as I wanted to. I was thinking I'd be doing 2 or 3 a week, and then I just hit this wall, man. I said, boom. I was like, whoo. Because I was like, I need time to read. I've got so many books coming in. So I have been reading. I've been doing a lot of reading, and reviewing and writing reviews and stuff like that. Trying to make sure I'm, showing you guys what I'm getting, and just following you all on BookTube, and trying to make time to watch BookTube, and really excited to see some of the channels I've been following doing so well. I know I'm going to make another video with the BookTube shout-outs. Like, I want to shout out different people, but let me just say right now, Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats is like one of my favorite channels, and she just hit 200 subscribers. I'll link her channel below. Summer, she is great, and her cats are just endlessly entertaining. It's always like some jungle gym, and there's the cats are flying around the room, and it's just awesome. But she's just so just authentic, and I'm going to be doing a buddy read with her next year sometime for the first book in the C.J. Sansom Matthew Shardlake series. Dissolution is the book I think we're going to tackle. So I'm looking forward to that. But check out her channel. She reads a lot of different books. She reads fiction, nonfiction, and just really funny, and just really honest about the book she reads. And so she's got a lot of different projects lined up, reading projects and stuff for 2021, so that'll be exciting. Anyway, well, I'll save the others, and I'll mention Summer again in when I make the BookTube shout out video. But I'm just trying to think of, I just feel like every time I get in front of the camera, it's so rare now. I just want to catch up with you guys big time, and then I forget what I was going to say. But I've been watching you, I've been following you guys, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, and Twitter and whatnot. But yeah, so I'm at that 45 minutes here. So let's see, future videos I told you I was going to make. I'm going to collect all of the historical fiction that I recently just finished, and one of them was not fiction. I mean, was not historical fiction, was contemporary. It's a brand new book, and I think I will do a quick review of it because I liked it that much. Do you guys want to know what it is right now? A little teaser, as it were. Yeah, why not? And then I'll show it again. Because I'm reviewing, or I'm in a book club online, and we're talking about this book. I just finished it. This is Sorrow by Tiffany DeBartolo. Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Tiffany. Tiffany DeBartolo. I gave this 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. Publisher is Woodhull Press. Wow, this was a great book. It was a great book. I'll get into it. I'm just going to say it's contemporary, you know, it's set in modern day, and I guess it's a love story of sorts, but it's also about finding yourself. And it's about art. It's about things that, you know, lift you up, the things that, you know, the passion that you have for creating, whether it's music, art, writing, song, you know. And the writing, I think that was what set it off, is like the writing was just, she has a flair for dialogue, and I can't stand turgid, just dialogue that has no life in it. And this has life, and it is absolutely, you could imagine people speaking these words, and that's, to me, is what's critical. Is like, would someone actually say this? And but anyway, it's a great book. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about some historical fiction I've finished reading, and I'm currently reading. Reading a very dense book right now on, it's called Denaturalized, about what happened to French, the naturalized French people under the Vichy regime in World War II, and how this one commission just took it upon itself under the Vichy regime to denaturalize people. And as I'm getting deeper into the book, you can see they're really targeting Jewish people, and it's really sad and disgusting. But at the same time, the historical research and how it's a historical detective novel, really, if anything else, not a novel, but the historical detective work she needs to do is based primarily on the printed materials, on the files themselves, because this commission never, they destroyed everything, or they didn't tell anyone how it worked. It was very shadowy. So, but it's called Denaturalized. It's a pretty dense work, as I said. It's very academic, but it's a wonderful example of historical detective work at its best. So I'm going to talk about that book after I'm done reading it. I'm still trying to finish up a couple more, and unexpectedly, work has gotten very busy. You think post Thanksgiving and in between Thanksgiving and Christmas it would slow down, but we've just had a big surge of work. So, you know, kind of pooped at the end of the day mentally, but I am trying to make time for my reading, and I think that's why my video making has gone down a bit, along with looking at things we need to do to move and to get a new place so I could have more room for books, because right now, you know, let me tell you, last year at this time, I flipped my camera around to show you our full-length tree that used to be over here. Well, we bought a bookcase since then, and rather than try to move the bookcase just to make room for a big tree, we decided, well, let's just get a smaller tree. So, and it's sitting in front of the bookcase. So there you go. I mean, and plus our office space is in the same room. Martina and I need a house with 2 offices because we're just bumping into each other, and yeah, we need space. We need space for books, we need space for working and video shooting and things like this. And so, you know, there's a lot going on here at the History Shelf. But you know what always is going on at the History Shelf? History. That's right. History reading continues apace, my friends. So until next time, which I hope will be very soon, because I do have content, I have thoughts. I've always got thoughts, people. I will share them with you. In the meantime, please comment below. Love reading your comments. I love corresponding with you guys. I met so many cool people that I stay in touch with on Instagram, Messenger, Twitter. I mean, you guys are just great, and I love just getting to know more of you, and I'm just pleased as punch to know you. So, having said that, thanks for viewing, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Stay healthy, and be safe out there, and be happy. Be well. See ya.